And we are back. And yo, this your boy Z Energy, and we finna get into the implication of fear. Cause fear is like the icing on the cake. Is the program that we was taught not to look over because it was in our face. Whether you was one, two, three, four, and all the way up to your 20s. These fear sets a program that you receive into your energy field, and it goes into your sub, and you was taught to fear. So we look at it as if it was the boogeyman. The boogeyman does his job. He scares. He have you trembling, shaking, and you're not aware. And that deep dark fear of you walking alone, or rather you in the dark, these things take a toll on your body, man. They do. Rather you in today's society, we have the police that everybody truly um tremble sometimes. I'm not saying everybody, but everybody is aware about the getting pulled over and don't know if it's your last call, your last meal type of thing, because fear plays a part in society. It's in the movies. It's trend into the movies like it's something fun to do. Okay, you can be in your car, be in a stoplight. There it is. Fear is into you. It's grounded into you. So we need to release some of this fear and let it go, and go back to being uh aware, being not setting in that mode, man, because that fear really lowers the vibration of you uh being normal, or normalizing yourself in society, because like I was saying, it, it it's in the public domain. Think about it. We had the the situation we had 2 years ago about the 19. Everybody know what I'm talking about. The you know what I mean? Everybody was pretty much aware and wearing masks 24/7. They're wearing it in their car, in the parking lots, until you get home and still got it on your face. That's program fear 101. And here's another prime example. Somebody that is trying to move against your will, they do that. But what I'm getting at is more like people need to be educated, as into how to maneuver and get around the fear tactic, because the fear tactics can shut you down, lower your vibration. You will not know what's ahead of you. Some people scared of the dark. Some people scared of the dark. Some people scared to talk to themselves. Some people scared to love themselves. Fear to love your own damn self. And here's another one. Being in a relationship, being fear of that person leaving you, and you holding on to what's there. That's fear. Fear plays a part in every little thing. Now, fear goes a long ways, because every movie that come across the the internet, or we can say Facebook, TikTok, or whatever, it could be a trend. Doing dances off of Michael Myers, and that guy Michael Myers is really a serial killer, and they're using his energy to put in a lot of movies. Putting his movie in, the same dude they putting into the dances, and it's based off of Ed Kemper. That's called Ed Kemper energy. They reusing it, recycling it, and play it in your face. Okay, the same energy that breaks down the you to have technical issues with your own self. Kemper energy, fear. So let's go into the definition and the breakdown because people need to know. People need to know. There we go. Fear, an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that if someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. Cause pain or threat. Okay. Now, the verb is be afraid of someone or something likely to be dangerous or threatening, right? But say for instance, he said he didn't care about his life, so why should he fear death? That's in the adjective in the fear. And let me get in some more. These are another these movies that play in our heads randomly are fear movies that program the human subconscious to resonate with the fear energy that you receive in the field. Because, like I was saying, the magnetic field that's around you, and you're receiving this and you're seeing this, so you're automatic. It's automatically trying to lower your atmosphere of your magnetic body fields. So you're receiving this. It can program you to do other things and other works because fear can make you kill your own damn self. Fear is nothing to play with at times. It have a darker meaning. Whether it's these scary movies that you see on television, whether you walking alone in the streets, fear don't never cross your mind because fear is something that is taught and something that is programmed. It is programmed. So all these programs was doing something to our minds. It was trying to lower our subconscious. They had a reason to do this. And it's a very good reason. Fear is like the cake of the ice cream. I'm gonna play a short about the Michael Myers situation. I want to explain and elaborate on this because this Halloween energy is one of them. Halloween have its own energy, and they put it all into that holiday, that fear holiday. That's another one because Halloween breakdown, how, low, and the wing, right? If you break it down, the true meaning of that is mean it's like this the the hall of scaring, the hall of energy that resonates to the fear. All right, let me get back to this movie.
Released in 1978, Halloween is one of the most iconic movies of our time. While it's not the first slasher movie, it became one of the highest grossing ones and set the tone for all other slasher films that would follow it.
Slasher film. Now you see what I'm saying? The energy from a slasher film. If somebody had a low vibration, they're gonna use that energy to inflict pain on somebody else.
It even has a place in the Library of Congress's 2006 National Film Registry and is considered to be culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant.
Know why, right? Historically significant, meaning they like that energy.
With the working title The Babysitter Murders, Halloween was originally about a stalker that killed babysitters, but the concept was slightly altered after it was decided that the movie would take place on the first night of Halloween, hence the name. The director John Carpenter wanted to make an old haunted house movie, In an interview with Rolling Stone, he explained the concept further. When we used to go to state fairs, they always had an attraction called the haunted house. It would be completely dark, and as you stepped on certain boards, things would jump out and scare you. Sort
How many people have been to a haunted house? The haunted house is pretty much another program that's designed to give anybody the ultimate scare, because your sub again is being reprogrammed to fear. All this play a part to something big later on. That's all it is.
sort of like the spook ride at an amusement park. That's what I wanted to do. A spook ride on film, taking the audience through twists and turns and having things jump out at them. Once they settled on the concept of Halloween as the main driver behind the story, things began to click, and the script was written in about 3 weeks. According to co-writer Deborah Hill, the Festival of Samhain played an important role. She said, "The idea was you couldn't kill evil. We went back to the old idea of Samhain, that Halloween was the night when all the souls are let out to wreak havoc on the living."
You heard that right? To wreak havoc on the living, meaning to wreak havoc on the energies of the living.
And then came up with the story about the most evil kid who ever lived. Further explaining the idea behind Michael Myers, Carpenter says, "Most small towns have a kind of haunted house story of one kind or another.
He know.
At least that's what teenagers believe. There's always a house down the lane that somebody was killed in or that somebody went crazy in. With that
Hmm.
in mind, let's get into the inspirations behind Michael Myers, aka The Shape. The first inspiration comes from a chance meeting Carpenter had at a mental institution. In the Halloween documentary, A Cut Above the
I'm pretty sure he did his research. He going to the mental hospital just to get documents and everything, just to put all this in the film. So he wanted his film to be realistic. So therefore, he had to go do his research and grab every bit of material that he was trying to um, make the ultimate fear factor.
Arrest, he details an encounter he had with a patient and how it inspired the character of Michael Myers.
Told you.
While attending Western Kentucky University, Carpenter and his classmates went to visit a mental institution as part of a psychology class. He recounts the experience as follows. "We visited the most serious mentally ill patients, and there was this kid. He must have been 12 or 13, and he literally had this look. The boy had a real evil stare. It was unsettling to me. It was like the creepiest thing I'd ever seen."
The creepiest thing he ever seen. Translation, it was the beautifulest thing he ever seen.
It was completely insane. This experience had such an effect on Carpenter that when he wrote the Michael Myers character, he couldn't help but think back to it. In the movie, Dr. Loomis explains his experience in meeting Michael Myers for the first time. Moreover, the words Dr. Loomis uses to describe Michael are the same words Carpenter would use to describe the boy at the mental institution.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the deathless eyes.
When a kid have no love into the house, he resort to different measurements. And we seeing that now with the youth. Because when you don't have a, a father in the house, a real father figure in the house, that kid grows up to be something dangerous sometimes. If the mother puts the balanced energy and bring in the love, everything will be fine. But if the father's not there, the child known to, so to speak, have aggressions. Aggressions of doing something above to escape escape that closed door what he had with his father.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
And another thing, sometimes it don't be that. Sometimes it's just two parents having abuse issues, and that can happen too as well.
The second inspiration may come from Stanley Styers, the so-called real-life version of Michael Myers. Born in 1912 in Iowa, Stanley led a tragic life from the very beginning. Shortly after his birth, a nurse in the hospital swapped him with another baby, just for kicks. When the Styers family found out, the nurse went to jail, but it was too late to switch the babies back. The Styers' real
They doing that now.
son had died in a car crash, along with Stanley's biological parents. Filled with anger and grief, the Styers decided to take out their frustrations on Stanley and abused him throughout his childhood.
There you go. Bingo. The father abusing his son. I told you that's the other energy. It's only two. It's only two. If the father leaves the house and he's not there, or it's an abuse relationship in the two in the house. Something.
When the Styers had their own baby girl named Susie, they proceeded to spoil her, in contrast with the treatment they gave to Stanley. Susie would grow to join in on her parents' cruelty towards her brother. The abuse from his family was not the only thing he had to suffer through, as he was bullied by several classmates and neighborhood kids. On October 31st, 1923, 11-year-old Stanley wanted to go trick-or-treating, but his parents forbade it, only allowing Susie to enjoy the festivities. After years of abuse, Stanley had had enough
Years of abuse. You heard that.
and proceeded to murder his entire family with a butcher knife. He then went trick-or-treating while also murdering his bullies and their families along the
That's all it takes. That energy been building up for years. Years. Then the slightest little tip of the cup with water in it, it spills.
way. The mass murders did not go unnoticed, and federal agents soon arrested Stanley and took him to a private psychiatric institution. He was there for 13 years, until he escaped on October 31st, 1936. Standing at 6'4" and 260 pounds, Stanley killed the orderlies that were in charge of him and proceeded to make his way out. Once outside, agents tried to apprehend him and even managed to shoot him a couple of times, but were not able to take him down.
And one thing about that too, I'm gonna tell you something. He been feeling his energy for so long and has been filling his body up. The body comes so invincible. The the vessel is no longer there. It is controlled. It is controlled. It's something satanic behind that. When that dark matter builds up, and it just a whole new different person, whole new ball game.
Stanley killed several officers and has never been captured. While the story of Stanley Styers has made its way around Halloween fan sites, there is no record of a Stanley Styers committing a murder spree in Iowa in 1923 or 1936. Much like the haunted house stories Carpenter mentioned, Stanley Styers seems to be nothing more than an urban legend or a creepypasta.
Y'all think that if y'all want to, allegedly.
However, the last inspiration we're covering did in fact take place. The final inspiration comes in the form of serial killer Ed Kemper. Born Edmund Emil Kemper III on December 18, 1948, he was the middle child and only son of Clarnell Elizabeth Kemper.
He took bits and pieces of different people and he put them all into this one classic film. Transpire using these energies to significantly lower the vibration into the watchers. And the watchers is people, which is you and me. We watch it, receive it, and lower. Programming.
And Edmund Emil Kemper II. Like Michael Myers, depending on the movie, Ed Kemper had an older sister, Susan Huey Kemper, and a younger sister, Alan Lee Kemper. At a young age, he showed disturbing signs of behavior, such as decapitating dolls, watching his teachers through her window while he held a bayonet, and killing family pets. When his parents separated, Clarnell kept custody of Kemper, but abused and humiliated him often.
Told you. Another one. There's no love in the house. So how could a kid manage to even bear the have some love in them because he resorting to the negative? That's with anybody. If there's no love in the house, it becomes dark. It becomes so dark that it transforms into something more fearful.
Finding him to be a real weirdo. She even kept him locked up in the basement because she was afraid he would harm his sisters. Moreover, she would
She ain't doing no more. Excuse my French. She wasn't even trying to love the boy. How you gonna lock somebody in the basement? Are you seriously? You she throwing her own damn program into it. You man, I swear, parents.
mock him even for his large size. By age 15, Kemper would stand at 6'4 and would grow to stand at 6'9, the same height as that of Tyler Mane, the actor that would portray Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie remake. At age 14, Kemper ran away from home to stay with his dad, but he would soon be sent to live with his paternal grandparents on a ranch. On August 27, 1964, his grandmother, Maud Matilda Huey Kemper, and grandfather, Edmund Emil Kemper, became his first victims. After an argument with his grandmother,
We all know.
he retrieved his hunting rifle and shot her multiple times. In explaining the murder, Kemper said, "I just wondered how it would feel to shoot Grandma." When his grandfather arrived home, Kemper shot him outside.
Man, it's so much wrong. The energies are lowered. The child is no longer a child. The child is more pulled in so much negative it turns into dark matter, which is which is the hella it's a hellified form of frequency that draws in darker energies from the other side of the multiverse. Dark, dark, dark energies.
Allegedly to stop him from finding out his wife was dead. On advice from his mom, he turned himself in and spent the next 5 years at Atascadero State Hospital, a maximum security facility housing mentally ill convicts. With an IQ of 145, Kemper used his smarts to manipulate his psychiatrists, which led to his parole release on December 18, 1969, his 21st birthday. Between 1972
Smart.
and 1973, Kemper would kill 8 women, including his mother. He killed hitchhikers and women from the college campus where his mother worked. He also
Everybody he took it out on was is something that he had was dealing deep inside of him. He had no love. There was nobody there to love him. There was nobody to actually, um, kind of how we show our kids love. There was nobody there. Just he pretty much was living in the thoughts of his mind.
raped them, dismembered them, and committed acts of cannibalism and necrophilia. Shortly after killing his mother, Kemper turned himself in and was indicted on 8 counts of first-degree murder. On November 8, 1973, the jury found him guilty in all counts, and he received 7 years to life for each count, with the terms to be served concurrently. While Carpenter has never stated that Kemper was a direct inspiration for Michael Myers, the similarities are hard to dismiss. Many fans of the series believe Kemper to be an influence, if at least subconsciously.
Yes, subconsciously. We know. We know. We know. Y'all look at that man's face. This the man that's responsible for all that fear energy that's in Michael Myers. Trust and believe. Yeah. Hey man. Like I was saying, man, this fear energy is something it's serious. It will dumb down a child to neglect the love and transform a child into a monster, But this is the world we live in. We live in a world that's built on magnetic energies that transpire that can actually reprogram you subconsciously and transform you into something more fearful. This is that fear factor I'm talking about. Yeah, this your boy is the energy god, and we dropping nothing but the best of energies that's around us today. So yo, be one with your ancestors, be love, peace, and I'm gone. Yo.